What was it that prompted you to get involved with breast cancer charities?
Well, I've been raising funds and awareness for breast cancer now for 20 years. This is the 20th year. I started in 1995. And I started because I started working for the Estee Lauder companies, and a fabulous lady called Evelyn Lauder, who started the Breast Cancer Research Foundation and the Breast Cancer Awareness campaign, asked me, she said, "I've just started a campaign, will you help me?" And I said, "Well, of course I will. What's it for?" And she said, "Well, women all over the world are dying of breast cancer and nobody's talking about it, and I want to change that." And as it happened at the time, I just lost my grandmother to breast cancer. And it really resonated because I know that at that time, the pink ribbon had only been invented the previous year by Evelyn, and nobody did talk about breast cancer. There were no magazine covers saying breast cancer. There was no Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Nobody knew about the pink ribbon at that stage. And I know that when my grandmother had breast cancer, she hadn't told anyone. She'd found a lump, and I heard what you said just now, and she too, she was too scared to tell anybody. She didn't tell anyone for a few years.
People called it just the big C then, didn't they?
They whispered. We weren't
it.
told as the kids. We weren't told what was wrong with her at all.
Did you feel helpless when your grandmother had cancer?
Well, we did, and we felt confused because we didn't really know much about it. It was just cancer. Which
but it's a
nobody
generational
really spoke
thing,
about.
isn't it?
I think so.
Back and further back then, you know, to my grandmother, and no one wanted to talk about it because no one wanted to admit what it was, or no one knew what it was.
Didn't know what it was.
Well, it's
or
true.
what to do about it.
A mastectomy sounded terrifying.
Terrifying.
Nobody knew about reconstructive surgery. There weren't the bras and the stuff now which people have. So I think it was just a very different time. And now it's different, 20 years later.
Thank goodness.
But I remember Evelyn saying to me that she was very inspired by the AIDS activists at that time who spoke about AIDS so loudly that we all heard about it. They had a red ribbon then.
That's right.
And she said, I want people to know about breast cancer. It shouldn't be whispered about. And now, of course, we do. And so when I speak to a younger person now, somebody in their 20s, they've never known a time without the pink ribbon.
I know.
Or that buildings being pink.
You're reminding me now how we didn't know.
Yeah, unless I think you had a relative in that time who'd suffered, you probably wouldn't remember that. But we do remember it now. So it has changed. So I think everybody has moved on a bit because awareness has done such a good job.
Has it changed you at all? Do you check yourself regularly? I mean, have you had any scares at all?
Well, Evelyn, for my 40th birthday, gave me my first mammogram. And she's asked me to promise her that I would have a regular mammogram. So I have ever since then.
Okay.
And we've also, for the last 20 years, been saying to all ladies that they should check their breasts once a month at the same time of the month, because there's changes in the breast every month. So you should pick, you know, the first day of your period or whatever it is, to always check your breasts and to check them in the mirror and to run to your doctor if anything changes. So I've been pretty good at that. And I think young people are much better than actually my generation have been about that, because they've grown up knowing that.
And there's also a book that is being launched as well, called Afterwards, Reflections on a Life Beyond Breast Cancer. It's got some wonderful little tales and stories in there, hasn't it?
You know what, it's fabulous, because we found that because there is a lot of awareness about breast cancer now, we really started to realise that even though obviously it's shockingly traumatic for the person going through treatment, the people around them, their families and their friends, their daughters or their mothers or whatever, are obviously also having a horrific time as well. And sometimes to hear their voices as well really seem to help people. And for some people talking about their own experiences, obviously some people don't, but for the people who have spoken about them, they say that they felt that they've been helped. So this book is some recollections,
and which is also what today is all about. Just celebrating, you know, not only being a breast cancer survivor, but a chance to say thank you to those people who've been their rocks.
See, I know that you're very good in your research, very meticulous.
Yes.
So I need to know, did you check out all those sexual positions before you wrote the book?
Absolutely. Everyone. That's why I'm exhausted today.